Hello and welcome to Jokakaka.
The penultimate
I'm Jim,
Jokakaka.
the potentially penultimate
I'm Sam.
Jokakaka. That is Sam, yes, and I'm Jim. So
That's the intro
yeah.
for I can't make like a all over the place chapter, I guess, because this is a chapter where this is probably the most divisive JoJolion chapter I think I've seen anybody discuss.
Yeah, so we've been covering. So yeah, by the way, we cover JoJolion. We're talking about JoJolion chapter 108, The Last Calamity.
Our JoJolion discussion and theory crafting podcast.
So we have been in the game for quite a while. This actually, I just forgot, like, we're coming up on year 4 of
Damn.
Jokakaka.
It does not feel like that.
It certainly does
It
not.
feels like it's only been like 2 years at most.
I know, time is funny, especially the whole, the 2020 year really went by real fast. But, so we actually started with chapter 69.
Nice.
Hilariously.
Nice.
Chapter 69 of JoJolion. So,
hey man, we'll.
Oh wait, no, actually, I'm lying. It was 68. It was 68.
Okay.
So
I mean,
August 25th. Get ready for August 25th.
One of the theory crafting is going to be if this is the penultimate or not. So we'll get there when we cross that road. So yeah,
Yes.
Initial thoughts though. I think me and you had generally the same thought, which was I love the first half, and the second half has me scratching my head a bit.
Yes. Actually, I do have one first initial thought.
Go ahead.
Before we talk about the chapter, which is, hello everybody, please make sure you engage with our content, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on a podcast platform, do the engagement things. It really helps us. We're super close. We're like less than 400 subscribers away from 5K.
Yeah, we get 5K before JoJolion ends would be great.
5K before JoJolion ends, baby. That's the new goal.
We get a face reveal before the fucking JoJolion ends, and we have to retire.
All right, yeah, 5K face reveal. Sam just said it.
No, maybe. Who knows?
I'll fucking do it. I'll do 5K face reveal.
Maybe we'll see. We'll recreate the Drake and Josh intro with like our face reveal. Who's Drake and who's Josh? I'll let you decide.
I'm Josh. All right.
Dude, don't sound. You should not sound so sad about that. Where they are now, Jim.
I'm season 1 Josh, but that means I'll have a glow up. But that also unfortunately means that you're gonna have
a glow down.
You're gonna have a glow down.
I'll be in Mexico. Oh, got it.
All right. So let's actually get into our JoJolion discussion.
The final ripple. I mean, the last calamity.
The last freaking calamity is what
the
the
Virgin final
called.
ripple versus the Chad last calamity.
So yeah, just kind of like alley-ooping up on what you said. Yeah, I think the first half of the chapter was like perfect. Like it literally felt like the conclusion to this arc that we needed.
Yes.
But then it's like, what's that one meme where like Anthony Fantano's like with the pizza slices and like, all right, great, that's enough. And then he's like, no more slices. Like that was me when I was reading this chapter. The further I got on, I was like, no, why is it ending? Why is everything wrapping up? No, it's too soon. There's so many things that we haven't even talked about yet.
I was like, what the heck is going on? What? Sure. I mean, sure, I guess. Like that was like my reaction. A lot of it.
I literally had like a sinking feeling in my stomach.
I had a
when
lot
I was
of
reading it because I was like, it is ending. I was literally just like, oh my god. When Yashua said JoJolion, I was like, how can they do that? How can Araki do the ending? Because this should be like the bookends moment. This should be like the last chapter.
I want to take my morning. I woke up. I see your message saying chapter's out. I read the chapter. Got my feelings for it. And then I begrudgingly watched the first episode of the Records anime. Got sick from that, and then like. I just like don't know, a day of just like confusing choices.
Well, yeah, fuck. I have no interest in the Records of Ragnarok anime. I'll stick to the manga, please.
Yeah, read the manga, people. But yeah, it's just been a day of just like, just weird choices and decisions. So I guess we should actually start talking about it now. About
yeah, let's dive right into it. So. Yeah, we get the fucking... I really actually like this beginning. Like, it really kind of...
Kato's Hijikata's attack. Tsurugi's her attack.
That is also very funny.
Yeah.
But I really like that we see, like, kind of the scene. It does kind of feel like the end of this arc. Like, the arc is ending. We're getting kind of a long, drawn-out scene.
Mitsuba's, like, crawling towards the garage. Joven is just a bloody mess still with no one really caring.
Jobin's a dead bloody mess, by the way.
It's bad.
So Mitsuba has to fucking crawl past her corpse husband.
I just find that like that even the siblings had to like walk by and just ignore like while they're more enthralled by like what's going on, and
I mean, understandably
it is
so.
understandable.
So it's funny because last month you were making like a big fuss about like what did Kato have to do to get Tsurugi, because like she would have had to have like approached Mitsuba and like picked up Tsurugi with cards. So I guess that just did happen.
Yeah.
It seems like Mitsuba was like kind of fucked up though, so maybe she wasn't really aware of it.
I mean, last we left off, she was like mainly just in the bedroom standing still with Tsurugi, but yeah.
She's like getting up off the floor in this chapter though.
I mean, she's also like a fucking plane door crashed through, so it's probably something you're like don't have like your footing on.
True.
Also,
It did
maybe
just happen mere
maybe the
moments
shock
ago.
of seeing your husband that like a bloody like mess also doesn't help.
Yeah, poor fucking Mitsuba.
Yeah,
She's
between
so
her
fucking distraught in this chapter that her nose goes back to normal for a
Yeah,
few panels.
okay. No one thought about it. I swear to God, I'm glad you noticed that. All right, we'll get
I'm
there.
so happy that you did too. Yeah, we'll get to it.
I was going to bring that up if you didn't. So, so yeah. So she has like Tsurugi's hand in her card, and it's just the attack is happening. I'm glad she brought. I knew we were talking about this about like when he ate Toru ate the fruit. Why is he getting like stuff taken from him? Where we saw with the opposite with Yashiho.
Yeah, and we at least saw, because nothing had happened at that point yet. We just know that we saw that Tsurugi and Toru were like touching, and there was like weird, like fleshy, veiny stuff happening, but there wasn't like a winner or loser yet. Until Kato freaking just like smashed up the freaking branches.
Yeah.
And poured it. So, all right, I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah. So there's a lot that it still needs to be used for. The time to harvest is still not happening. So I'm like, this is why I don't think it's ending. But I want to get there. That'd be the last thing I want to talk about is if we think it's ending or not. But
Let us. Yeah, I was gonna say let's push like that talk for later.
Yeah, because that's like the big thing to talk about. But yeah,
how funny would it be if like we're like, oh my god, second to last chapter of JoJolion, and then it goes on for like 2 more years.
Oh shit! The guy that knew how to fuck around with the branches is like dead in the hospital.
Yeah.
There's
so
something...
all right. So Kato's big plan is that she had learned in a flashback, or well, from her experience, that if you suck on the sap, you still get those juicy equivalent exchange powers.
Yeah.
So she just mashes all of the branches together, like literally all of them. There's like no branches of the plant left. And she just lets that syrupy stuff drizzle into Tsurugi's mouth.
Yeah, and like I guess it has more power than the fruit itself. Or maybe if you just had it after he ate the fruit, it just overwrites.
It looks like she pours an incredible amount in there. So maybe it's like the quantity of it.
I guess, and it still could lead to other theories going into if this is like the last chapter or not, but.
Mm-hmm. It's funny though, like you say that, because like I was so caught up in everything else that wasn't even a thought that I had.
I'm coping, Jim. Everybody's on a massive amount of copium after this chapter.
So
you better title that like, the copium chapter.
So I just live streamed. I just did a live reading of the chapter, and there was a part near the end where people were like accusing each other of cope, and there was just a long stream of like funny cope puns with stands like King Copium.
King Copium's really good.
A cope beyond. I was fucking crying.
Speed Copium. So funny.
Speed Copium.
That's what you call all the people thinking Jobin can still be alive.
That's me. Yeah. It's literally me. No, I'm kidding.
I love the image though of Wonder Review, like with his arms like starting to wrap his arms around Kato's head.
Oh yeah, so he's like a linebacker. He just like goes in for a tackle.
Look at you making the football reference.
Wow, it's a wacky day, Sam.
Can you name me any more positions of the defensive?
Yeah. Isn't there fullback? Isn't that a thing too?
That's an offensive player.
There's a quarterback.
Yes, that's offensive player.
That's like your Tom Brady's and your.
Yes, you named a football player.
All right, we need to move on. So she gets freaking sacked. Kato gets freaking sacked by
I mean,
Which
she doesn't get knocked down though. She basically just stays up and then fucking Wonder Review's head just explodes.
this is so fucking cool. I love
Back
the image of his head
and
just
to the left.
shattering.
Back and to the left. His head
Uh,
exploding. That's a JFK reference, Jim. Don't.
Oh, I was like, excuse me?
Don't worry about it.
I thought you were having like a senior moment.
No. But yeah,
Um,
he just head just explodes. It's also his head. His head tends to shatter and explode and then reassemble like to a certain amount through this.
So we don't actually.
Also, Kato is fine right now. She doesn't have the knife in her.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't know this until later, but so this moment is when Kato it gets her fatal wound. She just is like suppressing it. So here is why I'm like confused. So remember last time when she was like she just approached Toru and started throwing cards on him,
Yeah.
and she was fine. Like
Yeah.
that wasn't considered an attack, but this was. Crushing the branches was considered an attack. This is like her own words here. Why? And there's another moment near the end that is like baffling to me.
Because she knows only using Tsurugi as the attack, as the first line of the chapter was, and that was like the pursuit.
That makes more sense than what she says though, because what she literally says is me crushing the branches. But whatever. This is just me being nitpicky.
I felt like maybe
image...
because like if they went with like the whole karma thing earlier, maybe that would make sense. But since the karma thing is not a thing anymore, like it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like...
So there's an incredible panel where Kato is standing and One Review's head is just like fucking exploded and he's falling back. Awesome panel. The art in this chapter, incredible. One of the prettiest looking chapters we've seen.
Toru freaking out is like my fucking favorite thing about this chapter. Like him going through like all the stages of death, essentially.
It is really cool to see. Like we ultimately know that Kato dies here because we read the chapter, but it's really cool to see Toru just completely thrown off his rocker, totally defenseless.
It's just crazy that like for the most part, the side character that came out of nowhere is like the one to truly like really defeat Toru.
It's very strange, I would say.
Yes.
I would say it's almost a Deus Ex Machina.
A very important like, part 6 kind of thing, but like I guess we still got our main character got the final blow, but still.
So that's like okay, but so basically Toru is like fucking furious that he's dying, and he's like, how dare you just crush the branch up? You just fucking, this is like a one of a kind, like never again will there ever be a Jokakaka branch. How dare you? And then she's like, shut up. Fix my baby boy,
the great
grandson.
Fix my grandson. He's like can't left in here that could be fixed. But yeah, just like him pleading to Yasuho, I fucking love. And like maybe you shouldn't have like
it's
pleading
awesome.
to her. Like maybe you shouldn't have like done all this horrible shit to her.
There's something really funny to me about this chapter, how Yasuho is on the cover page standing up, and all she fucking does in this chapter is stand and watch. Like she doesn't do anything.
Also, just like the Toru pulls a Joshu losing it moment where he's like, "Stop this goddamn bitch already! Goddamn it!"
That panel is so cool.
And they just
there's so many
fucking explodes, and this fucking stuffed
so
animal
many
flies
beautiful... off of them. I didn't even notice that. There's so many beautiful 2-page spreads in this.
Okay, wait, hold on.
This chapter.
Hold on. What if Tsurugi just takes the stuffed animal and like that's like a new thing? I would not enjoy that. I feel like that would be stupid and dumb. Yeah, it's stupider than the dog that also like a rock animal.
Hey, don't diss Owasuke.
That
we
somehow
love
survived.
We love Owasuke.
So
yeah, as you said, Toru fucking explodes and
he
launches onto the car.
Also, the family every female character that's not Kato just watches and watches.
And so this is like probably one of my favorite scenes of this chapter. So we have Tsurugi is fine now. We didn't mention that.
Him hugging Mitsuba is really nice. Healed. I love it.
So yeah, Mitsuba runs and hugs, and then
hugs and runs.
And then Toru sees a vision of a wasp. So I love the parallel here because Tsurugi is obviously like Mitsuba is his mom.
Yes.
And then we're seeing like this is like the one moment of humanity that we have for Toru where he's like this basically is like a surrogate mother is this hornet.
I just had a memory of the mother I overtook and became the queen of.
Yeah, I really like that. It gives this nice little moment to his fucking like he literally like becomes dust.
It's
He
a
doesn't
great
even do like the JoJo smoke thing. He just becomes dust.
it's a great moment, and it could just gonna be totally memed on of just like the like image like what he sees there. Like, oh, I thought it's just all a memory.
It is going to be incredibly memed on. I fucking loved it though.
So yeah, we see the aftermath of Tiny Arm Joshi still on the ground, and Mitsuba's nose being fixed. But maybe that has something to do with what's gonna happen in the future. Who knows?
No.
No.
No, it is not. It is an error. Her nose is fixed in that image and then it is not it is normal in the other part. By normal I mean like fucked up.
Yeah, and earlier it didn't really put the coloring as I was before of like seeing like the dots and like the actual like the lines that like was like it got picked off. Like it doesn't really have the coloring to it.
This is just an error, I think, or it's not. The character is so far away that we're not seeing it like at the proper detail.
So, and as we learned, there's a fire truck and an ambulance are coming to the because a fucking plane just crashed into the estate that probably made a lot of noise. So,
and this is when Kato notices her wound. Or everyone noticed it. I guess she knew it.
Yeah,
it was there because she used her stand.
She says that's when that was her crushing the branch. Her attacking the branch was an attack to the branch.
Exactly. This is why I'm so confused. Like, why was her not using her stand on Toru considered an attack? Because she literally did use her stand on Toru in the last chapter. But crushing the branch is the attack here.
See, if she was bigger brain, she could have made a corset of actual cards around her chest that you have like a shield that just shoots out anything.
But so whatever. This is a very emotional scene. As quickly as she came, Kato fucking dies.
Yeah, she said she pressed it along with his left hand between my cards, but I guess it just didn't work. Yeah, then she just fucking rolls over and dies. That would be a great edit of like a blanket over her and like she's just sleeping, guys.
Jesus. So yeah, there's very emotional. I love this little scene where she's like thinking of the one image of her family.
The family portrait that she's not a part of, including Yosuke.
Yes. I was literally going to say the family picture that she's literally not in. That's like the memory that she thinks of. Very funny.
Yeah. So yeah, then
I guess she's redeemed. I guess she fucking redeemed herself
after killing a child.
Is that what we're supposed to take from this act?
She killed a very old rock human and killed to make up for her killing a child, burying a child alive.
Hey, she broke the curse.
Sure.
Then speaking of which,
also,
we see
also like beating up her child as well, of beating up Joshu.
Yeah. But she had to get a couple good hits in last chapter.
So yeah, JoJolion title drop. This is the second half start essentially.
Yeah, so it almost feels like
this is
with
the true
Toru
JoJolion?
dying with Kato dying, it feels like definitively the end of the Calamity arc that is over.
I mean, it's called the last Calamity.
But like the rest of the chapter feels like epilogue almost, because we have this very long narration from Yasuho basically repeating what she said in chapter 1. The first spoken lines of JoJolion is this is a story about breaking a curse. So when I read this, my heart fucking sank because like, oh my god, I'm reading the last chapter of JoJolion. Of course that's not true because we know there's at least one more. At least one more. But so this is where I'm gonna start to be like kind of an asshole, let's say.
Am I the asshole? Yeah, you leave a comment and if Jim is the asshole, r/I am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole? So I just want to read a bit of this. So, JoJolion. This is a story about breaking a curse. There are things that exist in this world that the eyes cannot see. In JoJolion, that is the shape of a person's heart. What is she fucking talking about here? Is she talking about Kato? Is she talking about Jobin? Like, what is she talking? What is this?
JoJolion
what does this mean?
the story? Is JoJolion the definition of like it's just the shape of a person's heart?
This literally is like the JoJolion is the French that we made along the way. Like,
I can't wait for
reads to me as.
There's gonna be some JoJo tubers gonna make a video like, what is a JoJolion, and then they have to like craft a video from just one chapter alone.
I just think like, so if we want to say that this line is referring to Kato, sure, I guess Kato she gave it all, but Kato is such a non-character.
I think
it's very strange to give her like an epitaph here.
Maybe it's supposed to be like all the people that were trying to break the curse, and like all I guess because like Jobin tried to, Kato tried to, Like even on the other side was Holly as well. Like it's just like all the people that try to break the curse.
Mm-hmm. That makes
Because
sense,
yeah, so how many
actually.
people try to break different the curse between the Hishikata curse and then the stone sickness? That hopefully that'll be touched upon, but we'll get there.
Because she proceeds to go like through every family member and like kind of relates this message of
all the
like
all the sacrifices.
JoJolion is the shape of a person's heart, but like it feels really weird. And I said this before, like a lot of these are characters that like were very front loaded into JoJo, like into JoJolion. Like Daya was a character that was like we got a lot from early on and then nothing from later.
Yeah,
Um,
she creeped
Hato is a
on.
character that we barely got anything on.
She was the one that got like a fucking fatal blow on just to show her state like on a Daimo or Damo. I mean, sorry, I'm tired. Like that was her entire use of her stand like once, and then that was it. She was like a non-character afterwards. Oh,
Yeah,
other than her the child sucking on a stuffed animal, but that was it.
I do love that image very much.
So yeah, and just like yeah, try to like sympathize her, and like she didn't really do anything. Joshu just acted selfish. Like he didn't like he kind of deserved his fucking injury and punishment. And
Yeah,
like
Jobin was dumb. Jobin did the dumb thing.
Joshu,
Oh, Joshu. I also agree that Jobin did the dumb thing though.
yes, he did.
Um,
Like literally, Mitsuba got like the most like Mitsuba like she was like a more character than like half the entire or probably 3/4 of the fucking Hishikata family. Like
so yeah, so okay. Basically, what she kind of goes on for a bit with this monologue. She talks about how basically everything has been destroyed. The family's like literally lost family members. But she's saying like this is not despair. This is
are we dying on
hope.
Rampa now?
Literally. It is really fucked up how Danganronpa has just ruined the words hope and despair for me forever.
Yeah, does that.
Um so it's saying that they like it's basically this message is like the family's acting together
It's gonna be
like
like JoJolion. Like, what does that mean? Like, in my planet, it stands for hope. Like, and even though the worst thing we learn is that the beetles are escaping their freaking their freaking cage.
no, they're going to be with their dad, Jobin.
They're gonna fill up.
They're going to find their dad.
Even the biggest heartbreak scene. Who cares about the family? We gotta care about the beetles.
So all right, so I guess maybe like I'm really I find this narration to just be like very strange to me. And I think really it's more so strange that it comes like immediately after Toru's defeated because like spoiler alert, I felt like Toru was not really the main villain.
He's
You know
not.
me though. I've always been anti-main villain, but like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it doesn't really like I don't know, whatever. We can go into this
The
like
JoJolion not
later.
having a main villain is pretty good. Like
It's totally fine, yeah.
it makes this part unique of just saying it's more of a main faction that you're going against, and like not really having a group of villains. Like the faction itself, like there was the the demo group and then the doctor hospital group. So it's kind of interesting to have like this groups of villains that like have their own purpose.
So
It's like if the Hitman Squad was like the main villains of their entirety of the Hitman Squad was just the main villains of their own part.
mhm.
So yeah, let me they're getting the ambulance in there.
Yeah, the everyone's funny reference. So just to wrap up her little monologue, because there's a little bit more to it,
Go ahead.
is basically I think the whole point of it is that like now that they've suffered, they've kind of grown together and they've broken this curse. That's like the big thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, the hope makes sense there because like Sergei has a future now. Sergei doesn't have to worry about that and like potentially his descendants. I'm guessing this broke the curse.
Maybe well, if you get a flash forward, maybe what if the next chapter just a fucking flash forward?
Honestly, that would be kind of cool. I would be interested to see that.
But
Like, oh my god, could you imagine seeing like a grown Tsurugi? He's like a nice young lad. Oh my god, I'd cry.
it's part 9, like Paper Moon King.
I would cry.
But
But
like,
so we talk about Tsurugi's smooth
mm,
skin.
yeah, smooth skin. They call him smooth skin. But yeah, it's apparently the wound on his neck that they literally gave him like a brain
Fenriske.
aneurysm is very minor. He held
I
back.
love I absolutely love that Tsurugi is the one to say this. So
The
Tsurugi,
medical
who's not
expert Tsurugi.
a 9-year-old Tsurugi, or I don't think he's 9. I think he's like 11.
The
Literally
coma,
without touching it. Without
the,
touching it.
the brain aneurysm and coma you put him in was only a minor, so he'll be fine.
It wasn't deep at all. It's all okay now.
But okay, so one thing is this is an excuse to go back to the hospital, but the thing that negates going back to the hospital is coming in later. So,
Yeah, it's very strange.
so first of all, Wonder of You seems this I guess keeps continuing on for a little bit.
So, okay, this is like the other thing that I'm just like, why? Like,
Notorious Wonder of You.
I love the idea of Wonder of You coming back for like one final gut punch because it is like this. It's been this like insane threat that's existed forever. But
And let's say we have.
why
seen
is it going after Norisuke?
not-
Norisuke is literally, he's literally like passed out. He is not aggressive whatsoever. This is
So-
just more Wonder of You acting like against its own rules.
Well, I had I thought like a theory about that. So,
Okay.
so he goes like inside the mouth of it, correct? So
Yes.
what if he was trying to do the process of trying to claim a new body, like host kind of thing,
Ooh,
and that was his plan?
that's really interesting. Actually,
And since he was like basically like in a coma, it's free real estate.
that is actually super fucking interesting because that is the one thing that is kind of brought up with the like a little bit later, I think, where the idea that calamity is like a fundamental aspect of nature. It is not necessarily just Taru's stand.
Yeah, so it just lives off. It just lives on a host or something like that.
Yeah. That's actually okay. I really like that. You kind of sold me. I know that's like a hashtag fan theory, but that's cool.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
The problem is, here's the issue
I
with
know.
that is, it starts attacking Norisuke.
it's only inside of him, like putting his hand in out of his mouth.
But his skin starts to bubble up.
Yeah, you reactivate Speed King somehow. I don't.
That's what it seems like, right?
That's what it looks
it certainly
like.
seems like that.
He's like
Because that's how
bubbling again.
Speed King has always been shown.
I'm
And
not sure- I'm not-
it's
I
like
can't
around his
remember-
neck too.
I can't remember if Bushu was like the sound effect for it. I remember like it had some kind of sound effect when Speed King like was like actually like
Oh yeah,
burning
I
them.
forget.
But yeah,
So strange, very very strange that it would attack Norisuke. I know why they're doing this because it's like
she says the form of the head doctor is calamity energy. Maybe just like the leftover energy of calamity, I guess. Even though the last calamity is, I guess this is the last calamity, not Kato being stabbed.
Mm-hmm. Like theoretically, like on paper, I love this idea. I
Yeah.
love the idea of like, especially some of the panels are really horrifying. Like the one where Norisuke's mouth is like agape and the fingers are coming out of it. That is
Yeah.
like legitimately good, scary horror thing.
And she
that I
even
enjoy.
says, even without a user to control it, will the head doctor still not disappear? And like we've seen stands in JoJo like that do that. So
True. It isn't like totally out of nowhere. It just feels strange that like Wonder Review's whole thing is like about karma and like you basically like by attacking it you make it attack you.
and most
But Norisuke is literally like in a coma.
And most of the stands
he is
require,
not
like-
attacking.
like you to die to be like your stand to activate fully. So
It kind of reminds me of like a Hunter x Hunter thing because like in
Yes.
Hunter x Hunter there's like
Yes.
certain Nen abilities that like
Or-
when you die the Nen gets stronger, which is so cool. I love that concept.
yes, I need to finish the second half 100 to really talk about seeing that in full, man.
True, but it's like it's something that we really don't see much in JoJo because
Nah.
part of like the rules of JoJo is like the stand is like very much connected. Like when the stand dies, you die, kind of, and like vice versa.
And like the very few occurrences, like the cat in part 4, Limp Bizkit,
Big
and Big.
things that are like very like explicitly built for a reason. Like it's not just like random things. Like Big's whole thing is that it persists after death.
I mean, he could have been used Big beforehand, but he could have just kept going afterwards, like that doctor. We don't know
That's
what we don't know
true.
what Carne was like beforehand. I want to see the thus spoke Carne,
thus ate Carne.
thus ate Carne. So
So
yeah,
yeah,
then
jumping
fucking-
back.
okay, and then the thing I was kind of annoyed by, just fucking Gappy just shows up. Was he in the ambulance the entire time? Was he, even though he's a wanted man?
He made it. He made it back to the house.
Gappy run dot gif.
So this is the thing too that makes me so mad because I love the scene. I love the setup of the scene. It is just like, why is Gappy here?
He's
How
a
did he make it?
wanted criminal Gappy.
It's very fucking convenient for him to come at this very moment too.
Yes.
But I do love this scene. Like, I love that he walks up and he's just like, "Hey, Yashiho, like, can you just like back up?"
Also,
And she doesn't get it at first, and then she
Yeah.
freaks the fuck out.
or like I would have been. It would have been great if she was still on the phone with him, like at the hospital. He like, oh, I'm still talking to you. Let's freaking wonder if he's coming out. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, aim the phone. Like, we're them working together to like, because remember she had to aim go beyond. So like, why
Yeah.
not just do it from the phone to be like a cool like both of them together are getting the final kill.
I guess because they already did that, and they wanted to give
Like-
Gappy like one last big aura too.
I know, but still, it would have been because like he has more like at like conflict with Yashiho. Like I feel, like
Certainly.
She
I would
should've-
agree.
I would have loved to have like it started with those two, and it could have like end the final blow of this one should like end it with them two. But but then you guys go beyond aura punches, and then this.
And it just shatters. So it actually, one thing I do like, it goes through Norisuke's
Yeah.
body. Like, it just passes right through it.
Very
like, fine.
spin like a very spin like ability.
Mhm.
Which is really cool. But then you get the like Yashiho laying her head on Gabby, even though he like abandoned her because he thought after like he basically left her like alone. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Just be like, wow, you're kind of a dick about that. Matsuko. Anyway, how's
How's your sex life?
how's Mamazuku doing?
Yeah, he's got to explain that, like, he's seen so many people die today.
Yeah.
I guess she can explain too. They'll meet up over lunch.
Over parfait, like nothing happened.
So, yeah, and oh yeah, also Wonder if You does totally shatter again. So.
Again.
Which you're right, he does actually have kind of his face back here. He did regrow his face. I thought it was completely gone, but there's one panel where you can see both of his eyes.
Yeah.
So
One
I
of
guess
his
he
eyes
was regenerating in
off.
some way.
I guess calamity energy, sure.
Yeah, fine. It's literally whatever.
So yeah.
So yeah, let's just like deep dive into the implications of of this.
The big question is, what the fuck with the flash forward then?
That really is like
We still have time to harvest, which makes me think. Okay, there's a somehow like maybe one of the cards they see, like, one of the branch pieces survives or something like that.
well, that's what I want to point to, because remember last chapter we saw Kato used her ability to make like a quarter of the plant go away. Every time they show the plant, there's actually one where they zoom in on it. They specifically like show you that there is this quarter of the plant gone. So I think in the last chapter,
you kind of see it in like the
109.
earlier, and it kind of looks like a perfect like a weird like really good slice of it, just like
yeah, it's like one quarter is perfectly sliced out. I think in 109 that we're gonna see like in Kato's one of her cards in her hand that she's clutching, we're gonna see like part of the branch, and then there's gonna be like one final Jokakaka left, I guess, or maybe just the sap that he can use for Holly.
Sure. And since fucking Jobin is not going to be using it, none of the Joe bros are going to be using it. Carrera's going to show up, get hit by a fucking car, and die, because that's what happens to anybody that comes back. And Holly will get... Who's going to equivalent exchange with himself then with Holly?
That's what I was trying to think, like, because that is still... Like, equivalent exchange is still the name of the game, like... They got to give something up if they want to save Holly, so...
Someone's got to get the stone disease from her, and unless, like, we drag Blue Hawaii out of his fucking swamp, and, like, you're gonna take this.
Presumably, they could also use it on Joshu, because we know... But wouldn't
they just give,
the flash forward just doesn't actually make sense. The flash forward literally cannot happen, because in the flash forward, Norisuke was in a body bag... And the house was fine.
I don't know. It makes me think like maybe what happened. Tsurugi still had a stand going berserk. Tsurugi like acting weird, and Paper Moon King can still make illusions, which everybody's still thinking about. And
I'm just like, so if this is real, like if next chapter does not have the flash forward scene.
People
I'm like,
people were
what
even
the
saying
fuck?
Gappy showing up and like everything like afterwards was just like it could have been Paper Moon King kind of bullshit. But like
Huh. I
I
haven't
know
really. I have a
it's
hard time like putting like brain thought into
it's
theories like
hard
that.
when like the character can make like illusions power, and that's the character we're focusing on, and because in like one and with Wonder Review trying to go like Doctor Wu and like trying to get inside someone, maybe the dust got into Sarugi with Calamity. I don't know, man. Calamity
It,
energy also transferred into Sarugi. Who
so
knows?
okay, let's say that there is more than one chapter left of JoJolion, because so shout out to Aeon Star, the boy, he's going through a lot
He's
today,
been
I'm
going.
sure.
He's the Always Sunny with the board and
But so because there was a little bit of discourse online when
there's been
there
a
was
lot
kind
of
of
Discord today with this chapter.
well before this chapter came out, there was news from one of the editors of JoJo or one of the editors of Shueisha, the Ultra Jump was saying how JoJolion only has like one or two chapters left, and people were like no, and then
I
even Anstar said something that I was like, oh, this is like actual like publishing makes sense. Is the last volume of JoJolion was recently put together, so I think this chapter is the first of would be the first of the next volume.
yeah
So
I firmly
they would
believe
need
we
to
have
have
one
more
volume.
than two. Like they would need to have more than just two chapters for a
Yeah,
volume, unless
I feel like they would have at least one volume left. That was like my feeling of it. Like
yeah, because like unless they just
check the
fill
spines because like I feel like they still had like half a Kato left on one of the spines.
there's half a kata, so we know. I mean, who knows? They could just fill like half of it up with like just like filler, like Iraqi drawings and sketches or whatever. But
Yeah.
I would assume that we have like at least if there's got to be more than one chapter, right? Like that's
Yeah, I
right.
feel like there has to be. I feel like there's still some things we still don't know. Like, I really wish they didn't tease me with, like, the Lucy Steele thing, because I feel like they still could explore, like, what happened after, like, Johnny. Like, that could easily explain, like, I don't know, a lot of stuff. Like,
Yeah,
they teased us with, like, Carrera still not coming back ever.
Carrera is like the least of my concern. I shuffle Carrera like all the way back, even though the last thing she
Holly,
literally said was "I'll see you later. I will return." I think is what the line she said.
I have to go now. My planet needs me, and she
I
died on the way
really
back.
I really fucking hope that Carrera never shows up again because it would be
It just
so hilarious for
okay.
her last line to be "I will return" and
It
never
cuts
come
next
back.
chapter cuts to a morgue of like all the people that fucking died like in like by Wonder Review, and then just Carrera's body is just wheeled in there like, oh yeah, this woman got hit by a car after she was trying to rob a place.
A non-character.
So yeah, yeah,
I don't
'cause
know.
we still gotta solve the Holly stuff. I mean, I guess the hair clip we never really got an answer for, and what happened to Yashaho's dad. Remember that thing?
You just don't think about it. Just don't think about it.
Like, what else? What other stuff can have we not 100% know about?
I'm still hung up on the fucking flash forward, dude. I'm just like
Flashback Man or Flash.
Flashback Man is not. I refuse to have any discussion about Flashback Man. This is not a character. I feel like if something's brought up in chapter 1 and literally never brought up again, it's fair. Same with the bite marks. Like it's fair to
I
just
don't.
like
I stopped giving.
these aren't real.
I gave up on the bite marks.
These literally aren't real.
Was,
they were just an aesthetic choice.
It was the ghost of Johnny Joestar with his bug bite fetish, biting all the bug bites off people who came in the area.
Yeah.
So another, it just like there's a lot of. I still think like there's still so much we need to know, man. It just
Yeah.
I don't think one
ultimately. This is such a funny episode because we're just like rational. Like, we're coping.
We're
trying
coping.
To, like...
The coping episode.
So ultimately, like the shadow of a doubt that the flash forward scene casts in my brain is like too much.
I want to know why
It's one of the most...
went berserk during the what's it called, like that whole arc, because like remember the baby whole thing. This is like before the flash forward, so like serious shit.
That makes sense to me. That to me that is easily written off as the petrification was just like
the rock disease. Fuck the
yeah.
But it just like made his stand do something completely different.
Yeah, it just. I mean, you saw how it affected him near the end. It made him like completely turn himself into origami. Like it was like basically just controlling his body.
So okay.
So that to me, that's like fine, whatever. It just the flash forward thing. It's like it just.
Remember Mamazuku like father was
bother?
killed by Wonder Review, and he never gonna like get his satisfaction from that. Ho-
We might see him in
Holly's
the
gonna
last
wake
chapter.
up saying, "What happened to my daughter?" and she had a cane in her fucking eye. There was a bunch of rock insects somewhere.
Hey, we'll see. We might get a funny fucking a bites the dust, reverse everything.
Okay,
The
okay.
last
What if
2 years of
okay?
this have been pointless.
What if it does end next chapter, and then Araki just does a Rolling Stones arc afterwards with like Carrera or some shit.
People would love it. People love Rolling Stones. We're the only 2 people that don't like Rolling Stones.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It just like I'm just imagining like if something like Rolling Stone happened today, like in JoJolion, I feel like people would be more pissed and cut. Why
People
the
would
fuck?
be more pissed.
You see like the end or like the end of part 5, and then oh yeah, Rolling Stone's here.
Yeah, I think people would be pissed if that happened. I don't know. We'll see.
Here's
We'll see if
Love
that
Deluxe
does
saying
happen.
talking about Calamity and like how you all were destined to face Calamity.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, we've talked enough about this. I have a lot of other thoughts. I think it'd be fun to maybe
Leave a
do
comment.
like a bonus. Do a bonus podcast.
I have a comment. What's your coping comment? Your coping theory about certain things?
Is that wait? You're asking me, or is
No,
that for the commenters?
just for the commenters. You
All
could-
right, for commenters,
we
please,
talked
on
about our
YouTube.
coping already in this.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then if it does end, who knows where Jokakaka go?
Jokakaka will fucking explode. No, I do want to talk about other things like potentially part 9 coming up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things.
I would love to go back and just reread the early chapters, like the ones
Me
we didn't
too.
do monthly before we started this.
Yeah, I was actually thinking how like this is a perfect time to read all of JoJolion again.
Yeah,
And
I think
it's between the next chapter.
it's something interesting I read. I think was it cool on Twitter where he said like the chapters like the next magazine for Ultra Jump is coming out like a day or 2 early, which is like something it never does.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
I remember reading, saw that on Twitter. I think it was cool to that, but yeah, where like it never comes out early, so it may be just a big like JoJo finale, a Part 8 finale thing. Who knows?
Huh. So yeah, I mean, like I think it'd be fun to maybe get some guests on and talk about.
Oh yeah, this is a perfect time for
This-
Brokakakas.
This is a ripe time for Jokakaka. We should. Oh yeah,
Okay.
another comment. Who do you want to hear us Jokakaka with? We haven't done one of those in a while.
Yeah, have like at least maybe 1 or 2 people on it to have everybody's like see how they cope.
Yeah, that'd
So
be fun.
this is what Cool said on Twitter. So apparently the next Ultra Jump comes out July 16th Japan time. I have no idea why it's that early. I don't recall it ever coming out on the 16th of the month before. It's usually the 19th, occasionally 18th, and once in a blue moon the 17th. So
Huh.
interesting.
It's a Friday, so I wonder if that's why.
I don't know. Who knows? But yeah,
I don't know
thought
how
that
Japanese publication works.
I just thought that was an interesting note.
Cool. Hey, I would
Nice
love to
pun.
have a JoJo chapter quicker.
So
what?
I said nice pun. You said cool. I like nice pun.
Oh, I didn't even fucking mean to. Do appreciate the great work that they do.
Yeah, we salute you to our translators, all of you.
So,
anything else?
any
you wanna
last
talk about?
words?
Oh wow, Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Damn. All right, come over. I
I'm
got
on my way.
I got some
I'll leave
ginger ales in the fridge.
I'll leave this dead air on here while Jim does ASMR. So yeah, nothing really talking about. It was just a lot of coping in that second part, man.
I don't know if I agree coping for me. I'm just like
I'm
I want to acknowledge that I wasn't a big fan of it. I feel
wasn't a big fan
the
either.
second
I'm
half was rushed.
I'm just it does. I think it does. It is rushed. I'm just coping that like it's not the finale. Next.
I really just wish that like I feel like I mean Araki's the writer, so he knows best, but I always assume that the like bookend narration would be with the final chapter. I think it's so strange to not have the JoJolion monologue in the final chapter.
Yeah, because so you think the Johnny monologue and like every like that part I mirror the most to this one where like that did feel like the ending monologue to it.
Because we also have like this. We do have Tsurugi's curse being broken in this chapter, so I guess it kind of makes sense that it would be said in this chapter. But
flash forward would be dope, but Blue Hawaii, because the Blue Hawaii, like fine, I'll have to do it myself, and this crawls out perfectly fine. It's
really funny that you keep saying Blue Hawaii because I'm sure this character will never.
Oh,
show
he's
up
never
again.
going to show up again. But
if he does, it'll be for
he's
one
literally
panel.
the only rock human left alive. Left alive.
I guess
that's not,
you're right.
That's not
that we
in
know
of. That's not like sitting there forever in the bottom of a lake that we know that never getting out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely probably more rock humans. There's that one rock human that we saw next to Toru walking out.
Yeah, weren't there two? I thought there were like two.
There was two. Ooh, suspicious.
Another so yeah, there's dozens of us.
And I just feel like after we beat two groups of rock humans that we'll never see them or be bothered with them again. Like
yeah,
it could.
So I mean, we could very well have more JoJo. I just think like as an arc conclusion,
we lost like we lost all the potential antagonists and the Joe Bros that were in there other than Yashaho. So
yeah,
Milagro Man Part and it's like Electric Boogaloo.
So. Yeah, so I guess that's really all I have to say. Is there anything else you want to?
No, I got my rambling out of my system.
Yeah, this is a good little discussion. I think it's so interesting to see the feedback because
this is
it's so divisive. People love it and people hate it. I've never seen people hate a JoJo chapter so much before.
Yeah, I think a lot of people says like the perspective of this chapter is going to change compared to the next one. Like when the next one happens, that's going to change people's views. I think if they like it or not, it could just confirm it that it was rushed, or it was just like a build up to this kind of thing. So
it's really hard because I was kind of thinking about this earlier too, because like the ending, because like when you're reading through like Steel Ball Run, like this is the first JoJo part that has actually been like airing or releasing while the fan base grew.
Yes,
so, like,
it's a massive amount of people reading this monthly. Where like we talked about before, like how crazy it would have been to read Part 7 monthly, like the ending of it.
Yeah, so that's why I'm kind of hesitant. I mean, of course, I'm not like making any judgments yet.
It's just how we feel about the standalone chapter, and like I said, like I agree with those views of just like the next chapter will probably like change your view of how this chapter was. So
yeah, and on that note, join us next month for potentially final chapter of JoJolion.
109 is like, hey, get the 110 if it's a better number.
I know, right? Gotta go hit for 110.
Gotta get that even number. But all right, yeah. So
what if it's potentially like a double long chapter? Maybe that's how they would get around the publication issue.
Maybe. I mean, it makes sense if probably Ultra Jump's biggest manga of their collection. Like, it makes sense.
I really wonder. It has to be, right? It's fucking JoJo. It has to be their biggest manga.
When I had the issue of Ultra Jump I own, like I think the only one I recognized was the Gunhead Detective one. You remember? That's the only recognizable series I saw on there.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the market's going to be different, and there's like a million billion manga that never even get translated in the West. But still, like, I mean, JoJo is fucking JoJo. Like, JoJo's one of the best-selling manga series of all time. There's no way that it's
most
not the
known.
best.
Like, it's like there's a reason why people were literally salivating at the Part 6 announcement. Like, anime onlys and like manga enthusiasts like both love it.
Manga enjoyers,
yeah. I did not mean to do that, but like it worked out so good.
It did. But it just happened.
It's like poetry, it rhymes. So yeah, I guess we'll see. So can I plug it up then?
Plug it up for the potentially second to last time.
Oh boy. Thank you all for listening to this this hell of a chapter. You can follow the podcast, or me and Jim separately, on Twitter. You can join the Discord, of course, to give your thoughts and your coping of Part 8 in there, and the link below. Also, like Jimmy said earlier, like, comment, subscribe, get us 5K, man. We want to do something for 5K. We don't know what, maybe some kind of face reveal, who knows?
I was going to say toe reveal. But I won't even joke about that. That's disgusting.
Pick a toe. Vote on the toe.
My feet will never be on the internet. I'm fucking avoiding that.
The farmer's tan I have on my feet.
Oh no, Sam, you're giving them ideas. You're creating a mental image. They're going to start drawing your feet now.
My farmer tan foot.
This is disgusting. We need to move on.
No, yeah, we saved that talk for Jujutsu Kai Quest.
Yeah, everyone listen to our episode by episode coverage of Jujutsu Kaisen anime, which finished airing 2 months ago.
I mean, the next batch of episodes is the most foul. I'm not even wrong. But it has like the best episode of that, so that's should be coming. So we do those on Wednesdays. They come out. So
yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen Wednesday.
sure, yeah.
Jujutsu Kai Quest Wednesday. It's
I
Wednesday,
think
everyone.
next you just did the Panda episode. So next week will be the Maki episode, which oh boy, you should listen to that one because so good.
Huga, yes.
I mean, animation and best girl, but yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think that's all the plugs, right? Unless you have anything to plug yourself.
Oh, I just want to say, yeah, follow me on Twitter. I'm at King Protus. You can follow the podcast at Jokakaka Podcast.
You can follow
just
me
throw those out there.
At Gokaikun, but
It's because people don't look at the descriptions.
that's fine. I mean, they can just literally look up Jokakaka and just find either one of us from there.
True.
So.
We are Googleable.
Somehow.
We're Googleable.
You Google Jim Jokakaka and you'll find Jim.
You probably would, actually. That's scary.
I'm not even gonna try.
I'm gonna try it. Jim Jokakaka. Yep, I fucking... Actually, the podcast just comes out. The podcast Twitter. All right, let's fucking go. I need to fucking start editing this and get it out to everyone.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you for 109.
See you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.